The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 4, The Foundling. Hello and welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis. I am he, and he is me. And I am here wondering whether I've seen the most lackluster cameo in a Star Wars product ever, or the greatest. And we're going to get into why that is in just a second. First, I want you to analyze the title of this episode. It's called The Foundling. What is a foundling? In the Mandalorian society, it is a wayward child, lost, orphaned in the world, not genetically inheritor to the mantle of being a Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian tribes find these types of children, and they bring them in. They give them food, shelter, but teach them the warrior ways, and in the end, they become the truer form of a Mandalorian. Much more than just having birthright. They will have earned the title. Now, this title could easily refer to Grogu, and I'm sure in many ways that it does, because he started his training as a Mandalorian in this episode, and yeah, it didn't go amazingly. You see his potential right there. So yeah, we see a little flashbacks. Yeah, the episode's about him, but on another hand, it could also refer to Ragnar, Paz Vizsla's son, who's captured by the bird. It could have something to do with the familiar ties, as we see how happy his curmudgeon-y father was when he had him back, the love, the joy of the community. He could be the foundling. Okay, that works. But I think, honestly, the actual foundling they're talking about is Bokatan. And we're going to explain that. But first, like this video, subscribe to this channel, ring that notification bell, and remember to leave a comment no matter what it is. This episode does a great job of actually being one of these Monster Hunter storylines that they do. The Mandalorian has this kind of filler episode situation. It's a Monster Hunter one. It's like the season premiere of Season 2, where there's some sort of weird, freakish monster that can only exist in the Star Wars universe, or like a twisted tale of D&D, and our heroes have to train and overcome it and defeat it. It's like slaying a dragon. And these episodes are great, and that was a lot of that, particularly them taming the bird babies at the end. I really enjoyed all of that stuff, but it takes its best moments when it is deep diving into the backstories, or should I say the character development of two characters. The first is Grogu. Let's first talk about him. He is finally expected to learn how to fight, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, is he gonna wrestle? Is someone gonna like bring a blade to his throat? Like, what is going on here? Instead, they choose darts, which in terms of a special effects point of view, I have to say that was an easy way out. It's easy to have a force-using baby use darts and floaty things, because that's what Jedis have always done. And so he beats Ragnar in their competition, and that's cool, and that's all well and good. I just can't really wait till he gets more fighting. I want to see him wrestle, fight, fisticuffs, all of it. Even though he's a little green midget, I think it's going to be fascinating. And so, of course, his family has to go on a quest, so he's left alone. And I love it when Baby Yoda is left in a situation where he has to talk to somebody other than the Mandalorian. And it is the armorer. I love her and I adore her, and her wisdom and the love she has for him. She clearly wants him to take the oath and speak the creed and actually train to be a Mandalorian. She's open-hearted to this because she's no bigot. It was great, but her forging brought back some flashbacks from poor Baby Yoda, and Grogu opens his eyes, and suddenly he's back on Coruscant, and we get to see the Jedi Knights who are defending him that we'd seen hinted at other flashbacks before. It's fascinating, it's pretty cool, and we're wondering who will help him as each one of these Jedis is slain. Finally, he's able to escape onto an elevator shaft where the last female Jedi protecting him is murdered in front of him, and he has to take a quiet elevator ride down to the lobby with her corpse in there. Poor Baby Yoda. Door opens up, and here we have our Jedi answer. Now, the internet has been going on and on about who it could possibly be. People are thinking it's Barriss Offee. People are thinking it's a cyborg Mace Windu. And we see it, and I immediately knew who this person was. This is the actor Ahmed, best known as the actor who played Jar Jar. Now, you probably already heard this before, because I put up my videos late because, well, I have a day job. But at first, I'm like, oh, is this what they're doing? However, as he continued to do heroic things, particularly with lightsabers, he's taking them on, dual wielding, deflecting back, all these things. I'm like, okay, this works. And then they get into their speeder chase over the skies of Coruscant. And look at the simple citizens of Coruscant. I love how Palpatine and them kept Order 66 a complete secret. So those who saw a fire at the temple didn't think anything was up. People were like, there's a fire at the Jedi Temple. They didn't realize that a war was being waged within it. And it's actually that big that it could conceal that much battling going on. Because actually most of Order 66 was done on other planets. The Jedis are dispatched all over the galaxy. So really Order 66 has scar marks on every planet everywhere. But they're flying through and the citizens have no idea that the Jedis are being massacred or why these soldiers are after this Jedi on a speeder. As the action scene kept going and going and going, I really just quickly grew to the idea that I'm like, this is amazing. I'm so glad it wasn't just another one of Filoni's favorites. I'm glad that Ahmed Best is back in the scene. And that's why I think that this is one of the best cameos ever. It references back to the original prequel trilogy, which doesn't get enough references, as I say all the time, particularly in the sequel or, Disney Star Wars doesn't like to reference it. It's the ultimate because he was in the original cast. He might be playing a different character, but I would love to see what this Jedi has, what he's going to be up to. And so I am so happy that happened. Now, moving on to who I think is the actual foundling, it is Bo-Katan. Now, Bo-Katan references her father, giving us the images of parental and familyness together. And remember, she is a woman who has lost her sister, lost her father, all violently in Revolution. She has seen the end of everything, even her palace, where she was living alone as the Papa Queen. She is desolate. She is wayward. She is a lost child. And just as she, in this episode, gets to learn how to be a Mandalorian, old school style. For instance, I actually like that information about the fire. That, the pack leader gets to sit by the fire while the other ones have to go out in the darkness and have that moment to take off their helmets and eat. I thought it was an interesting thing to add on to it. I really like the Mandalorian culture, and I liked watching them work together as they climb up. Look at Paz Vizsla. He had his heavy weapons pack, and I was like, well, that is a man's man. That is a man's man right there, carrying that whole thing up a mountain. And so, in the end, I think it's very interesting that she finally speaks about the mythosaur. The armorer goes, well, when you finally take the path, you're going to see all sorts of visions. And she's like, well, this isn't a vision, it's real. The armorer gives the perfect cult leader answer. It is not an affirmative, but is an affirmative. She's like, yes, you will see many things when you hang with us. And then the camera stays on Bo-Katan as she sits and ponders what is going on. And obviously, this is a mystical thing. She's not only joining this cult, but she's feeling like some sort of spirituality to the fact that she saw the mythosaur. She thinks that she was the only one who saw the mythosaur because she's meant to be the next Mandalore and unite the tribes of the Mandalorians. I don't want to see this because I'm sick of her story. I'm cool with her in the story. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping she gets it on with my man Pedro Pascal. Din Djarin. And I want her to see that, but I actually hope that if she goes on the quest to try to become the Mandalore and steal the saber and stuff, I hope she fails. Because honestly, there's only one thing I really want to see out of the story, and it is Din Djarin take his rightful place from a pauper foundling to that of the true Mandalore. Boom. And so next, I want to theory craft for just a second. Just quick second. The ship Ahmed Best's character ends up stealing, or should I say taking, and the friends that were protecting him were the Naboo. They were Naboo people. That's a Naboo ship. It's the ugliest ship because it's the big phallus ship. There's plenty of silver, beautiful ships in the line, but in Attack of the Clones, for some reason, they had a phallic silver ship that just looked like the Silver Surfer's. They were flying around in the Silver Surfer straight up. And that's the one they choose. And so I really hate that was the decision. But the question is, where is our fugitives going? My guess is if the friends who gave him the ship are Naboo, maybe he's going to Naboo. Maybe he's in with the current queen. Maybe Grogu will be raised sometime on Naboo, perhaps as royalty. Or perhaps we're gonna see other scenes with being trained by Ahmed, best Jedi. I really got to learn this dude's name. So I think that might be where it's headed. I can't believe that that's going on. But the real question is, what did you all think of this episode? Did you like seeing Coruscant? Personally, I love seeing Coruscant when it's done right. I like seeing it in all senses. Did you like my theory about who the foundling is? And do you want to see Bo-Katan become the next Mandalore? Please let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell so you can catch all Fat Mantis' shenanigans and info. Until next time, may the Force be with you.